Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Eagle Forum Capitol Hill update. I'm Tabitha Walter, Eagle Forum's political director.
And I'm Kirsten Hassler, our executive director. Last week, we reported on the leaked Dobbs versus Jackson women's health opinion from the Supreme Court. Since then, we have seen violence and destruction from abortion activists across the country. No one was surprised by these actions. In fact, fences were put up around the Supreme Court because they expected this to happen. Senate Leader Chuck Schumer solidified this notion 2 years ago when he stood in front of the court and threatened, quote, "I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions," end quote. Although Senator Schumer tried to water down his comments later, he was echoing the angry sentiments of his party. Now, we are watching the unruly reaction to this decision that Democrats have feared for decades.
As protests kicked off last week, a pro-abortion group called Ruth Sent Us published the addresses of the 6 justices who agreed to send the issue of abortion back to the states. Then they coordinated protests at each home. The threats were so severe that Justice Samuel Alito and his family had to flee to an undisclosed location. The Senate took notice and quickly passed the Supreme Court Police Parody Act, which was S 4160, that extends security measures to the justices and their individual family members. Senator John Cornyn from Texas, who sponsored the bipartisan bill, stated, quote, "Threats to the physical safety of the Supreme Court justices and their families are disgraceful, and attempts to intimidate and influence the independence of our judiciary cannot be tolerated," end quote. This bill awaits a House vote.
On Mother's Day, abortion activists targeted Catholic churches because of the faith of the 6 justices. One video shows women dressed in outfits from the show The Handmaid's Tale yelling and harassing members in a Los Angeles church. They were eventually escorted off the premises. Other situations were not so easily mitigated. The office of the pro-life organization Wisconsin Family Action was vandalized and set on fire. A message was spray painted on the building saying, quote, "If abortions aren't safe, then you aren't either," end quote. Similar messages were found on pregnancy centers, churches, and pro-life groups across the nation. Even our allied organization, Concerned Women for America, experienced a vulgar attack. CWH President Penny Nance issued this bold statement, quote, "Attacks on our employees and our building will not deter Concerned Women for America from standing up for women and for babies. We will not be bullied, we will not back down, and we will never, ever stop fighting to protect human life," end quote.
What the left doesn't realize is that these actions are federal crimes. A federal law prohibits protests at the justices' residence with the intent to influence their decisions. Additionally, the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act prohibits obstruction and vandalism to religious institutions and pregnancy centers. Those affected have a private right of action to ensure justice. While the public trust in the Department of Justice may be low due to the partisanship of the Biden administration, Eagle Forum is holding the agency accountable by drafting a coalition letter reminding Attorney General Merrick Garland of his duty to prosecute these crimes. That letter will be released once we gather signatures from like-minded organizations.
The irony on the left's violence due to the overturn of Roe v. Wade isn't lost on us. Roe allowed all women to obtain abortions through the first 3 months of pregnancy, regardless of reason and without restriction by the states. Since that decision, Democrats have fought for taxpayer-funded abortion on demand. Some states, like New York, passed bills that allow babies to die even after being born. Meanwhile, pro-life advocates have pushed for laws to incrementally chip away at Roe's fallout. Bills that require waiting periods, parental notification, and ultrasound images before an abortion allowed women to make more informed choices. Other legislation that restricted abortions until a certain gestational age when babies can feel pain in the womb or when their heart begins to beat led to the Supreme Court decision. Modern science now shows us that abortion is indeed violent, and thus Roe is an outdated law.
Despite the threats from the left, Eagle Forum is overjoyed that the Supreme Court is likely to overturn Roe v. Wade. We can all celebrate this win, but get to work at the same time. We will continue to advocate for the preborn at all levels of government and educate Americans on the dangers of abortion. Thank you for listening to this week's Capitol Hill Update. From your house to the State House to the White House, this is Engage with Eagle Forum.